Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are very well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much on your own terms and that you're working on being the best version of yourself. Special shout out to everyone that supports us on Patreon. We appreciate, love you so much. And everyone who sends us a gratitude donation through PayPal for the work that we do on here. There's an amazing gift for you in the mail, and we appreciate, love you for supporting us in that way, family. And if you are looking to relocate to the motherland and you have no idea where to start, or even if you have a country, etc., but you need advice on, work permits, residency permits, how to get property, where to move to, security, cost of living, and things like that, definitely consider doing a relocation consultation with us. mumbi.saraki@gmail.com is where you can get more information on that. Now, some sad news to report from Gambia, where another brother from the African diaspora has been killed. His name was Leonard, family, and he had actually been planning to move to the Gambia for a long time. He managed to purchase those 18-wheeler trucks, and his intention was to move to the Gambia and to create a trucking business. And he was going to create shares within the trucking business of his fellow family members and African diaspora. Now, he managed to get the truck to the Gambia, and he had just hired a staff. And the next thing, he was killed and his body was dumped in Senegambia. And Leonard becomes the 6th African diaspora person to die in the Gambia, family. And my deepest condolences to his family and the family of the other, mainly women who have lost their lives there, including Shakina and many others, under mysterious circumstances. Now, it turns out that Leonard was actually killed by the new employee that he had hired. And the reasoning of the new employee was that he would take out Leonard, sell his truck, and then use the money from the truck to get himself to Europe through those ships you see on the Mediterranean Sea, which is so heartbreaking, family. And if you want more details, definitely check out this brother who lives in the Gambia. He's called Senegambia. That's what his YouTube channel is called. And he's been covering all the deaths, 6 deaths of African diaspora this year alone. I don't think there's been such a high number in any country on the motherland. And having been to the Gambia, I thought I'd just maybe shed some light on why this is happening. And there's been various different people who have shared their views as well. Now, a lot of our diaspora, especially from the divided kingdom, chose Gambia as their relocation destination because it is one of the poorest nations in the motherland, and so everything is relatively cheap. Now, we all know the realities that our African family is living in Europe. They're barely able to save. It's a hard life, family. And so a lot of them moving to the motherland, they move with the little savings they have, and it's really hard for them to make ends meet. But in the Gambia, family, it's a whole different scenario. So while many choose the Gambia because at least you can get land for under $1,000, you can build for relatively cheap, so it tends to be the go-to country. The disparity between the haves and have-nots is so huge. And as our brother on the Senegambia channel revealed, and a lot of us who live on the motherland know this, is that what someone earns in a day in the divided kingdom is usually the monthly salary of someone in the Gambia, and the abject poverty is very, very stark. And then it's a very, very small country, so it's like a fishbowl, so everyone is seeing everyone. And because of the extreme levels of poverty, there's also a lot of wizardry and magic and witchcraft and all kinds of things going on, family. But one of the drawbacks for many of our family, for many of the African diaspora who have moved to the Gambia, is the lack of community, the lack of coming together, either as the African diaspora, either as British Africans living in Gambia, or whatever the different dynamics are. And so a lot of the people who have lost their lives this year did so because they were isolated. They were in silos. There was no one to check up on them. And the predators who took their lives over in and understood that. And there's also a lot of jealousy and envy. Now, family, we are in the season where an exodus is approaching. The Europeans and the Asians are already moving to Africa in large numbers, and they're even facing an environment that is kind of has animosity towards them, underlying animosity, because on the motherland right now we're going through revolutions where we don't want, we're asking for our true independence from the Mzungus and from the colonizer. But you'll find that when a German moves to Kenya or wherever, or Senegal, or whether French, or when an Italian moves to the motherland, they have their community. And these might be people who they don't even really like each other. They may not even hang out or ever even talk in Germany or in Italy. But when they find themselves in a country in the motherland, they realize the value of safety in numbers. They realize the value of coming together and being our brother's keeper. And that is something that we, as the African diaspora, I don't even know why I'm saying we family. I have a very soft spot for the African diaspora because I've lived in the divided states. I've lived in Europe. I understand and understand just how hard it is. And it has been on my spirit heavy to call our people home and to help them relocate to the motherland. But when I started the Unity communities, which was going to be communities in every single country of like mind, I received so much backlash, not from the Mzungu, not from anyone outside of our community, but from our own. So much jealousy, so much envy, so much evil eye. Not to mention the evil eye and jealousy and envy I've received on the YouTube channels just by trying to spread the message. So much bullying, so much antagonism, family. Which is why I abandoned the Unity communities and focused more on spreading the message of each and every one of us healing ourselves. Because if we do not heal ourselves, then our collective consciousness will continue to be overridden by those of us in our community that are jealous, that are angry, that are unhealed, that are envious, that have nothing good to say about anyone or anything, that are just miserable people. Those are the ones that are most vocal, and those are the ones that are majority, because the majority of us have not done the healing work. And you see it. If you go on YouTube and you look at any of the channels of our melanated, especially our melanated sisters family, who are trying to be prophets, who are trying to channel through tarot cards, whatever they may try to do, or share their story as a family, you'll find that there's so much bullying and antagonism online for them to change who they are. And you'll also find now, family, that a lot of the Africans in the countries where our foreign brothers, our African diaspora brothers and sisters are moving into, tend to be cautious about forging relationships with the African diaspora. And this really breaks my heart, because I also can't keep putting myself on the front line and trying to bring us together. With all the spiritual warfare and the attacks and the financial sabotage and all the things that I've had to deal with, I have now had to retreat my energy to focus more on my people, my Kenyan people, and what we're going through as a people. Because it has cost me so much, family. Trying to bring our people home, trying to work with our people, trying to create communities. And the motivation was always to prevent things like what happened to Leonard and Shekinah and others from happening. Because we're stronger together, but somehow we have not realized that. And so I share this story to say that we must become, especially the African diaspora, because even Kenyans, family, when me as a Kenyan, even if I'm just going on holiday to Switzerland, or if I'm going on holiday to the divided kingdom, 9 times out of 10, I'll connect with the Kenyans who are there. Either because I'll visit a local restaurant, or I'll already have been put in touch. I already have told family I'm heading here, and someone will tell someone will know someone who relocated to the divided kingdom 10, 15 years ago, and they'll put us in touch. And there's that community and camaraderie. And among the African diaspora, the only people I've really seen do that is the Hebrew Israelites, the ones who are actually even settled in Israel and have communities around the world. They are the ones who have come to Kenya. They're thriving. They've built their vegan restaurants. They've gotten a farm together as a collective. They're even renting homes where a few families will live together so they can live in a nicer home, a bigger home, a more secure neighborhood, and things like that. And all of this is by design, family, which is what makes it even more frustrating. All of this is by design. We were designed to have self hate, to hate one another, to see each other as competition instead of seeing the real person, the real oppressor as the competition. And a lot of us have so much work to do on overcoming our crabs in a bucket mentality. And what I've found, family, is a lot of the African diaspora who are moving to the motherland, for example, to Kenya, to Tanzania, they are actually opting to create relationships with the local Tanzanians or the local Kenyans. They'll find people of like mind. I've done a lot of shows on my Karibu Nyumbani Patreon page where I talk about how to create community through your children or through hobbies and things like that, through cultural centers. But a lot of them they'll create close-knit relationships with either parents who also, so the parents of the school where their children go, or through work colleagues. But you see, if you're relocating and you're remote working, it becomes trickier, family. But a lot of people find family more in the Africans that are already here than in our African diaspora community. And we got to do better. I don't even have a solution, family. I don't even know how we can work on this because I have also been exhausted trying to awaken our global community and dealing with the distortion and the brokenness of our people. It takes a lot for you not to get broken yourselves. And if you have a YouTube channel, if you've been trying to awaken our people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so mine is just to encourage you, family, to really be your brother's keeper, because we have no one else. A lot of you, it is time for you to leave the divided states, because if you stay in the divided states, you're going to be sitting ducks, or to move to rural communities. But even if you're moving to the rural communities, you need each other. You need to come together to survive the seasons and the times that are up ahead. There's a brother who I've been following closely because Leonard's death actually brings, I think, I don't know if I've said this before, but 6 of our African diaspora have died in the Gambia this year alone. And most of it has been foul play. I think there's one who maybe died from natural causes. And it has been that dynamic of the workers seeing that that person is isolated. They don't have anyone checking up on them, or the people checking up on them are all the way in the divided states or all the way in the divided kingdom. And being in a situation of abject poverty themselves, they just take advantage of the situation. I'm not saying it's right, or I'm not saying, it's of course absolutely wrong. But we must become our brother's keeper, family. And that is something we had hoped to create with the unity communities. We had hoped to create these communities of like mind in every single country, where we would check up on each other. But there was so little goodwill. There was more backlash and attacks than there was support, even though I got over 5,000 applications from people who wanted to be part of the communities across the motherland, and a lot in the divided states as well. And this shows us, family, that our group consciousness is still not quite there, which means individually, a lot of us still have a lot of work to do to become whole in ourselves, to cancel out the self-hate in ourselves, to cancel out that jealousy and envy towards others, because it represents some distorted mindset or concept in ourselves, so that we can come together. And time is of the essence. A time is coming when we will not be able to reach out to one another, where we will not be able to assist one another, where we will literally be relying on those who are where we are geographically, who are in the community or in the village or in the city that we're in. And we have to have formed, it will be too late to try and form those partnerships then. Because remember, every community you're in takes on the vibration of the weakest link. So we have to make sure that we're always around people of like mind, of like character. We have to work on ourselves. And at the same time, we have to realize that we're stronger together, whether we're in Europe, whether we're in the divided states, whether we're in the motherland. And we should start building those synergies sooner rather than later, before the winds of change wipe many of us away. As I've already told you, family, we've already reached the quota or the quorum that we need as a melanated people to move into the next dimension. We want as many, if everyone could come, it would be great. But those who have a low mindset, the wrong mindset, will not make it, because it's a frequency thing, it's a vibration thing, and frequency don't lie. You can't fake your frequency. You can't fake being a good person. You have to heal all the brokenness that made you a bad person so that you have that good vibration, family. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys on how we can work on building our communities. I would love, if I get enough comments and everything, I'll definitely do another video talking about solutions, how we can come together. And if you are looking to relocate to the motherland, we have started this relocation consultation service, mainly because of what's been happening in the Gambia, where we offer you different advice on the country you want to move into and how to relocate successfully, safely, and happily, of course. If you're interested in our relocation consultation, definitely email us, mumbi.seraki@gmail.com. Stay safe out there, family. Remember, the higher you vibe, the safer you are. So work on all those issues that you have. Do the hard work, do the heavy lifting on your own character, on your own personality, because your vibe will attract your tribe. And you don't want to attract a selfish tribe that doesn't care about you, that doesn't care whether they hear from you or not, that is me, 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 me all the time. You want to attack people that are caring, that are loving, but your energy and your frequency will lock you out of a lot of those relationships, which are very important when you're thinking of relocating to the motherland. Tuko pamoja.